Well, we're so happy to be here today with Parents Driving Change. And we have a special guest with us, Jane Carlson, and she is the director of the Utah Valley University Melisa Nellesen Autism Center. And I've known Jane for a while, since she moved from the East Coast to Utah. And we were very lucky to get her here with her expertise in autism. And she has been producing wonderful things in the Autism Center and is just so creative in developing a community where everyone belongs. And I think that's a real focus of their center, and it's just a privilege to have her today. So thank you, Jane, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and hi, everybody.
We're so excited you're here. We're excited to be able to share the information you have for everybody. So it's really perfect timing for everything going on crazy in the world. But first, I just wanted to ask you to share in your perspective what you spend your time doing every day and a little bit about the Nellesen Center.
Wow. Well, the one of the things I love about my job is that every day is different. So we really focus on three main things at the Autism Center. The first is training professionals who want to pursue careers working with individuals with autism and their families. So I get to teach classes for undergrads and graduate students in those programs. We do a lot of training for professionals as well. So, putting together trainings, talking with colleagues in the fields about, sort of the best and the greatest things that we can offer for families, and then pulling that together in our community. Our second focus is providing supports for students at UVU who are on the autism spectrum. So making sure that those students are equipped with what they need to be successful at college, those time management skills, those self-advocacy skills that really help them navigate that college environment, all focused on becoming, independent adults who are out there doing their thing once they're done with school. And then a major portion of our focus is our community focus. And we take that very seriously because the Melisa Nellesen Center for Autism was created by community members. So, the building literally was built by the people in our community. So we, are sort of constantly touching base with people in the community and talking with them about what their needs are, what their successes are, where the gaps are in the services that are available out in the community, and working with our community partners to fill those gaps and to build a stronger network for families of individuals with autism and folks on the autism spectrum, so that they can really truly feel like they belong in the community.
Well, that's wonderful and a really big job. So thank you for everything that you're doing. I know you have an amazing team of people you work with. Lori, of course, is my friend, and I see everything that she does, and I get to see a lot of what you do and others do through her. So I'm just so grateful for this work.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So right now, just with the crazy pandemic and everything going on, I thought of you because when we thought about, who we could interview, because I have several friends right now that have, kids that are on the autism spectrum, and they are used to having a lot of formal supports, but right now there just aren't very many there are any formal supports. It's very much mom and dad trying to figure out how to entertain and to educate and to help monitor and just all the emotions and everything that they're all feeling, all the kids are feeling right now. And so Barbara and I were wondering if you have any advice for families about how to maybe provide structure or whatever you can tell us that will help us. With my kids, with any kid, honestly, we all need this advice, but especially, through this perspective right now.
Yeah, it's a really crazy time, and a lot of individuals on the autism spectrum are struggling with many aspects of the changes that are occurring right now. So, we've seen in our college students on the spectrum that switch from face-to-face classes to online classes has been very difficult, and I'm hearing that from a lot of families in the community too, that online, that virtual instruction that's supposed to be happening at home just isn't working. And the first thing I'd like to say to families is that's okay. I feel like parents are feeling guilty that they're not able to educate their kids better or get them to stick with whatever virtual activity it is that the school has put together for them to benefit from. And the reality is most of us were not trained to be special educators, or educators at all. Our role when we're home with our kids is as a parent to those kids. So, I think focusing on that, and if the school part really isn't working out well, it's okay to cut back, to do what you can. Don't feel guilty about that, but communicate with your school district. So if the lesson format isn't working out, reach out to your child's case manager in that school district, send them an email and explain what the difficulties are that you're seeing and see if they can modify things on their end that might result in a little bit more productive learning environment. And for parents who have children who have significant problem behavior, this again, it isn't the time to be thinking about making long-term change in that problem behavior. It's time to think about how you're going to keep the peace. And again, that's okay. We're all struggling on some level just to get through the day. So, if you can put together a schedule of the day that's, interspersing things that your child really likes with trying some of those demands, even if you're not successful with those schoolwork things, again, that's okay. The goal is to keep the peace. I do recommend, though, that families try and keep some kind of regular schedule, because we know for our kiddos on the autism spectrum that predictability can be very, very helpful. So it can be a very simple schedule. I've seen people posting online these ultra elaborate schedules where the day is broken down into 15-minute units and they're busy. If you can pull that off and it works for you, that's awesome. But if it's as simple as, here's what time we eat breakfast, here's when we try and do some schoolwork, here's when we go out and do something that's fun in the yard, here's when lunchtime is. Again, just some basic structure so that your child knows what to expect during the day.
I love all of these tips, and they're things that I can use every day right now. I'm just even trying to count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 homeschooling, and then I have 2 grandkids in my home. They end up being quarantined with us because they were with us when it all happened. So we are, I think every parent needs the advice that you gave, and I think that is just so helpful even for me to hear. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh yeah, as parents, I think we're hardwired to feel guilty about not doing enough, and I think that's been, the volume on that has been turned up exponentially with all of these demands. And we're trying to work from home, as you said, we're trying to juggle multiple kids' virtual education from home, and we have to cut ourselves a little bit of a break. Yeah. And another thing that's really important for parents too is taking some time for themselves. Because when you're locked in with your kids day in and day out for what's now stretching into weeks at a time, another reality is if you're not taking care of your own physical and mental health, you're not able to provide the support that you need for the others in your life. So take that time. Lock yourself in your bedroom for, an hour or two a day and do something that's gonna feed yourself, that nourish your own spirit.
Absolutely. I think, I found myself, let's see, so far in my closet, in my car has been a good one because I can lock the car and I turn on 80s music and I just dance for a minute or whatever. You really have to breathe. Barbara, I know that you have gone through all these things too with your, maybe not in this situation, but now you have grandkids in your home as well. Yeah. So, did you want to say anything about that? I know.
No, I just really appreciate all that you shared, Jane. And I totally agree that we have to give ourselves a break as parents and grandparents and recognize that we're in the most unusual situation probably most of us have ever experienced in our life. And so we can't control it, and we need to just understand that we need to be gentle to ourselves and kind to ourselves. So
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And is there anything that we can do to share for you so that you can get your message out and we can tell their parents about your work?
Yeah, we've really been trying to collect resources that will be helpful for families during this time. So, families can visit our website. They can follow our Facebook page where we link a lot of the resources that we're putting on the website. We've also reached out to colleagues around the country to create a number of short videos that we'll be putting up on our YouTube channel with some information that hopefully will be helpful to families during this time. And our first is already up. It's from our friend Tom Higbee from Utah State University. And he's sharing information about how to use a simple online tool, a Google tool, to create picture activity schedules for your child. So that might be a really helpful thing to support, that structure and those schedules. And we'll have a couple of more videos going up this week. One addressing what to do if you're the parent of a child with problem behavior during this time, how to manage that. And then another one on using the principles of mindfulness and ACT to help everybody in the family cope a little bit better with what's going on.
That's great. And I'll post those links below this video when we share it so people can click right on there and be able to follow you.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great. In closing, I would love to hear if there's any story you want to share that just gives us a chance to see the life that you get to see every day with the kids and the families. Is there anything that comes to mind, an experience with parents in the center?
Oh yeah, we just in January, we had Greg Hanley and his team out doing some training at the center. And we had a parent reach out whose child's team worked with us during that training, who said, and you're gonna make me cry, but she said that she had no hope for her child's problem behavior. And going through that training process with her team allowed her to see an aspect of her child and her child's ability to learn that she had never imagined. And it just sort of renewed her hope and her energy working with her child who has a very significant disability. So
that's so important, and thank you for sharing that with us. And I think a lot of people will understand your tears because it is something that's very close and dear to us. So I appreciate that.
Lori and I are both big criers. In case
I love you both, and I think I worry about people that aren't willing to share a tear now and then. Actually, I think that a lot of times it's I guess it comes across when you need to ask for help, or that you're weak, or that if you cry you're weak. And I think that is strength, because we can't help people around us, and we can't ask for things that we need unless we I guess share that hard side of us, and the part that's a little bit uncomfortable. So I think that your message is well received and people understand that. So thank you for sharing with us. And I will link all the information below. I'm so excited for everybody to hear from you. And if there's any other message that you want to share out, or that you think that would be helpful for us to share, let us know. And I can even link that below this video even later, so I think all
right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, Jane.
I wasn't sure if Barbara's gonna say anything. She's on mute because she's got grandkids, but whatever.
She does. Are they running around the house?
Well, one of them's a baby.
Yeah, one's a baby that I can't. She's just screaming, and then the other one is a 2-year-old that's running all over the house. So yes.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
And the 2-year-old will pull up next to her with her own little books at the desk, and she just pretends to work. So.
And wants me to draw the witch in The Little Mermaid every day.
Are you good at that?
No, I am not artistic, so I don't know why she has.
Well, our marketing person, you guys have probably met Katie Hunter, who does our marketing for us.
Oh yeah.
At a lot of meetings. Her daughter Hattie insists on attending our virtual marketing meetings. So
it's really exciting.
It's the best. One thing about this is that this is the best bring your child to work we've ever done. You know what I mean? Our kids are really getting a real understanding of what we do. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, you're wonderful, Jane. I love you, and I love Lori too. And
Oh, thank you. We love you guys too. And this is so great that you're still doing this, even though you can't drive around in your bus.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we've been writing curriculum for several years now. We used to actually go out and have meetings across the state for years, and then we thought we can't keep this up for years and years and driving everywhere. And so then we started the bus because it was kind of a condensed way to do it. And now this is just forcing us kind of to the next layer, which we wanted to do anyway. So it
Awesome.
worked out really good. But I may just share this whole video. I don't know. I have this whole thing of like start, stop, but I don't know. I think it's just, I like it when people are just, you see the conversation and it's real. But.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Well, Jane is an amazing resource to our community. Really.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel so lucky to have landed in a place. I've only been out here in Utah for a little over 3 years. And the community support for what we're doing is so incredible. I literally I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. And as I like to say, despite my youthful appearance. And I have rarely in my career come across the kind of community support that we have here in Utah.
That's nice.
Really amazing. And I think it's what allows us to do the work that we're doing because there are so many people who are interested in partnering and doing the work together. And it's so collaborative. You know, where I used to live, I could not have called up the professor at another university who is a rival of ours and asked if they would contribute something to our Facebook page. But you know, here our colleagues do that without a thought. You know, and you know that lends so much strength to what we're trying to do here in the community.
Absolutely, it's all about connection. I tell you.
It sure is. It sure is.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
No competition, just everybody working together and trying to get things.
Yes. Barbara and I talk about that all the time in our trainings. It's like,
yeah.
I talk about it like, you know, there's this whole beach out in front of us and everybody's building their own sand castles, you know, and nobody wants to like look around. They just want to protect and just have their own, you know, have moats around their sand castles. But people just looked up and realized, oh, when we work together, we get so much further. I think it's so powerful. So
we do. And it's great to have the two of you as community partners.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
It's Barbara's fault. She taught me everything I know.
Right.
Well, from what I understand, Barbara has been behind the scenes pushing so many efforts in the state for years and years and years. And I'm glad you're out here on TV now.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jane? It's all about those kids and those families, just like you. We're all just committed to making their lives better. And I think you're right. I think we live in an unusual state, but I think we still need to have a long way to go. But we're all doing our little part that we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the parents are doing the biggest part.
Oh, especially now. You know, kudos to the parents who are just getting through the day.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to keep you too long. I know my kids are down there like screaming for attention. So.
There goes your parent. Now you're back at the parent.
Actually, they're not screaming. That's what makes me worry. It's a little too quiet.
Well,
I
Well, before we
understand
go,
that.
I have to ask, what's your costume going to be tonight for the Halloween dinner, Janae?
You know, that's a really good question. I actually have, I buy way too many costumes. Every Halloween we think we can reuse the costumes, and then we find an excuse to get more. And so I have a large selection. And so I really don't know. I did see my daughter in a unicorn costume a minute ago, and we're talking the big blow up unicorn. I don't know how she's gonna sit at the table. Jordan's a State Puff Marshmallow. We just saw that. I don't know. I always lean towards Harry Potter, but that's kind of expected. So I think I'm going to pull out something that totally freaks them out. I don't know. I got to go look. Anyway, it'll be fun. But maybe I'll put that on the outros of this video. I'll just show.
I think you have to.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's fun.
Yes.
I love it. I love being a mom. It's been so fun to be around my kids more. It's hard, but I think when other time we're gonna have a chance like this to really, it just forces us all to focus on what's the most important, and I think we can choose to just kind of take the ride and laugh about it, or we can I don't know, be sad. And I guess there's times that it's hard, but I think ultimately I've really felt blessed to have this time, so it's fun. Anyway, but I'll put a picture up. I don't know yet, but
All right.
Lori, hi for us, and thanks so much for jumping on.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Talk to you a
Jane.
little bit later. Okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Janae.
Bye. Oh, my son just walked in a unicorn. Oh, a State Puff Marshmallow Man. Well, you know what? He may as well show you since we're being really
Oh,
right now.
That is fantastic.
We're
Great,
having
Jordan. Love it.
maybe I should have like appearances by my kids when I do these, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
We are having
Fallon, so why not?
we're having a themed dinner tonight. I tried to give each of my daughters one night to be in charge of dinner, and so tonight is the Halloween themed dinner. So we will see what everybody shows up in. You never know at our house.
All right, that sounds exciting.
Okay, now
That's a great idea, Janae.
I think you should film that for your video series.
Seriously,
Me too.
I need to make him dance. Whitney's doing the dinner.
I think I absolutely agree.
After I'm done. Okay, after I'm done. This is real TV, right? God, no!